Go ahead. Great. No, it's not Andrew Fallon and I were talking about that. I'm Coach Sanders, never seen him a little bit. Yeah. We're down to Tom's really making over Frisco, that little neck, but it's a little. That's great. Wow. Okay. So interesting science experiment. Like I know people that no action. There's a magic. I mean, that's awesome. So we went through that whole day, and we're separating and shots and all that stuff. I know you got to go. The one thing I'll tell you, you didn't miss is the door great. You're like the door the door of the same time. Yeah, doors up, doors up.
I'm deciding between two dresses before I take it to the tailor tomorrow.
I think we're finally actually.
This is option one with sleeves.
Okay.
This is option two. And this is option two. with sleeves and belt.
Okay. That reaction was two without sleeves. That was the one that.
I think I might do sleeves for ceremony.
Yeah.
And reception.
That
That was the initial one I got, and then it was back ordered, and they kept pushing the back order. And so
wow.
they kept pushing the back order, and so I panic ordered a second one because I was like I don't have time.
Yeah.
And that one was in stock. My second favorite was in stock, and so then they both shipped the same time. So then I became indecisive. But I also now get the opportunity to show people. I get more. I think I'm still going to go with the second.
Yeah, I think so. Good, yep, it works. All right. We're good. We're good whenever. You're feeling good? Want me to start on the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. Like we're good to go.
Everybody come on in and sit down and share. Exciting evening plan.
Started in just a second. For all Arlington County committee members, if you have not picked up your ballot yet, we're gonna have an endorsement vote. So for all members of the steering committee, precinct captains, please visit the table at the back of the room and pick up your ballot. And we'll be doing that in about 20 minutes. As soon as we hear from our two candidates. Hope everybody came here tonight without any symptoms or a fever. If you're concerned, please, feel free to wear a mask. If you did have symptoms, we hope you're home watching on our Zoom meeting. Always feel free to wear a mask and social distance. Be safe. Arlington Democrats is an open, welcoming community. We'd love to have everybody here. How many people are here for the first time tonight? Please raise your hand. All right. Big round of applause. Thank you, folks, for being here tonight. We've got a lot of activities that you can plug into. I see we've got Kip Malinowski phone banking in the back of the room over here. We've got our precinct operations chair in the house tonight. We got some yard signs. We're giving away, or hopefully getting some suggested donations for tonight. All kinds of other things in the back of the room. So stay tuned. We got a packed agenda and got a few announcements to make. Then we're going to go through our 8th district election, and then hear from some of our different functional areas of the committee, and then some terrific candidate speeches. We've got 3 statewide candidates here tonight, and our entire House and Delegate delegation. I'm really excited to hear what they got for us tonight. We do have two new members on the committee. This is not a voting item for the regular committee, but I did want to announce that Annie Stiles is our school board caucus chair. I didn't see Annie earlier, but really excited to have her in that role. And then our new volunteer coordinator, Minawar Khalil, is in the back of the room. Minawar, if you could just wave to everybody, see her if you're interested in volunteering. Thank you, Minawar, for stepping up to that really important role. Let's see, this is our precinct office. Do you want me to, am I in? Perfect. All right, we got a couple new precinct captains and a new precinct leader and a new comms vice chair. Emily Haynes has been helping us on comms. Will Driscoll in Yorktown, Harris Fontaine and Park Lane, and a new precinct leader, Carrie Hagan. Do I have a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Think the ayes have it? Congratulations all. All right, we did create a resolution for our current chair of the Democratic Party of Virginia, Susan Swiker. I sent that link around. We do have some copies in the back of the room. Hopefully you pick those up on the way in. Trying to go to the QR code. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Do we have a motion to approve? Thank you. Do we have a second? We got a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. And just want to give a big shout out and thanks to Susan Swiker for her at least 10 years of service as chair of the Democratic Party of Virginia. Big round of applause. We did a little bit of this last month, but we just want to remind people, if you have not been to our webpage, go to our webpage under highlights, there's a section called Take Action. It's got a number of actions that you can take in the current environment that we're in. Protests and rallies, there's a link for protests and rallies there. We're gonna edit that a little bit to add some more of the impromptu things that are coming our way. I was at a Where's Ben Klein rally yesterday out in Winchester. That was a lot of fun. I was downtown at USAID last Friday. So you see a lot of great federal workers, a lot of great volunteers, a lot of great Democrats at these events. You know, please plug in and join them where you can. We're also going to put them on our social media. We don't get a lot of lead time on these, so you know, just keep your eye on what we're posting. The Take Action page has all kinds of things, not just the the rallies and the protests, but we are organizing. We're organizing through our farmers markets, through our caucuses. You definitely want to be on our email list through our Beyond Arlington program. We're also building community. We got a lot of events where we're just building community with one another and talking and planning and plotting and doing all the things together that are going to help us make 2025 a big success. Exactly, protecting democracy. Should receive in your chair this Take Action brochure. It's got a few QR codes on it with some of the things I just talked about. Grab one, hang on to one if you're a new person, and take that with you tonight. It's got a lot of great ways for you to plug in. We did this last week, but we're having our second town hall tomorrow at Central Library. The first one was a huge success. Standing room only. Yeah, big round of applause. It was a packed house. We had a union representative, Elisa Taffy. I know Elisa's here tonight. Elisa, where are you? Thank you for being there. We had, I think, 3 other attorneys that were there, so we'll have 3 more attorneys tomorrow night. We're back in Central Library. It was 90 minutes of nothing but Q&A. I think it was really helpful, and we're going to do it again. We're going to have it one on immigration, I think on the 18th of this month. So we're going to keep doing these, just connecting with our community and providing information and helping wherever we can. Yeah, immigration forum on the 18th, Randolph Elementary with Legal Aid Justice Center. And it's going to be terrific working on that with our Latino caucus. And let's see, I think now we're bringing up Tony Weaver for an announcement.
Good.
Good evening. I'm your finance chair for Arlington Dems, and I want to know that we will be having our Blue Victory Dinner April 26th. So many folks are new or first time. The Blue Victory Dinner is Arlington Dems' biggest fundraiser, incredibly important. So we've got some photos here to jog your memory of how super fun it was. We laughed, we cried, it was better than cats. So hopefully you can make it, check your chairs or dig through the piles. There's a QR code in there somewhere where you can sign up and get a ticket. Or you can use this QR code here. I will get out of the way. Or you can get a ticket at the box office, which is right back here with Jessie Ojeda. Speaking of which, she will be helping us out with the silent auction. So if you have an item you would like to donate of value, you can do so by signing up at that QR code or digging through the pile of lint on your chair for the other QR code. And with that, I will turn it back over to Steve.
Thank you, Tony. All right, upcoming social events. Paul, are you doing this one? Thank you so much.
All right, so who's ready to salsa? Woo!
Salsa night is going to be on, Monday, March 10, Renegade, 7 to 9, 6:30, you can come, and learn how to salsa if you're not familiar. We invite you to join that, there's a link on your chair, and then in a month from now, let's say you're not the dancing type, you're more of like the paints and, casual relaxed type. We're doing a paint and sip, so, that's $30, all inclusive for everything, so opportunities for us to engage as a community and decompress. Very nice. Yep, all right, so. We have a internal luncheon here that we're going to be running. So this is an endorsement vote for a congressional district committee. Where is our chair, Margot Horner? Margot Horner, stand up. This is an endorsement vote for candidates who for individuals to serve on our 8th district committee. Officially, we have 4 men and 3 or non-binary, or 3 women or non-binary. And tonight, because of the vacancy that has been left by Maya Jones, we are going to fill one of those with 2 incredible candidates. So just very high level process wise, only our eligible candidates can vote. Those are Arlington Democrats committee members. That's defined in our bylaws. We're not doing any absentee, proxy, or write-in voting. It is just these 2 candidates. Our in-person voters will receive a paper ballot as they are signing in. So as you see right back there, you see Sergeant at Arms, Bob Platt is waving. That's where you go and see a ballot, see to get a ballot. Our virtual voters are going to receive a Google form, which I believe our Samantha Perez has sent them at this point. And ballots, we ask you to please just mark your ballots clearly between both of these candidates. I will note that the ballot does say female, but it is female or non-binary. So with that said, I would like to introduce our first speaker for the role. They'll get 3 minutes to make their introduction. And that person is Sam Jane. All the speakers are gonna get a 1 minute and a 30-second warning.
I timed this. Good evening, Arlington Democrats. My name is Sam Jane. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I'm excited to be here with you tonight. Arlington a decade ago for my first job right out of college. Having spent all of my life in Nebraska and Texas, moving to a Democratic area was new and exciting for me, especially as someone who is a part of the LGBTQ+ community. I'm a longtime campaign professional and reproductive freedom activist, beginning as a campus organizer in 2015 for Wendy Davis in Texas, and most recently, running a battleground program where I recruited 100,000 part-time organizers in 5 states to talk to their friends and family about voting for Kamala Harris. Thank you. I'm also a LGBTQ county commissioner and an abortion doula in Falls Church. Across the years, I have volunteered for candidates up and down the ballot and offered free services to local candidates in Arlington. Additionally, for the last 5 years, I have served on the Virginia Young Democrats board. Since 2022, I have been VOAD's National Committee Representative, meaning I have been on the HCD for 30 years and am now an outgoing member as my term is ending. I am running for this vacancy for a few reasons. 1, I have firsthand experience of being on the 8th, knowing all of our members for years now, and being able to help Arlington Central Committee. I believe it would be an asset as a permanent member to advocate for Arlington, especially after my experience in VOAD advocating for the entire Commonwealth and Arlington. I even brought our VOAD parent board, the Young Democrats of America, to Arlington in 2023, where we brought the Central Committee to the event and showcased our Arlington elected officials and leaders in our programming to over 200 young Democrats from across the country. Another reason is personal. I am trans, and we only have a few trans folks on Central. I believe there may be only 1 to 2 others presently, and in the Commonwealth that made history twice selectively granted them to the GA in different offices. There should be more trans folks on the Central Committee.
At a time when the president and even some Democrats are trying to attack or abandon the trans community, it's important to have trans voices in our party. In chosen tonight, my priorities are to help expand our digital outreach, help with fundraising, and help execute our 2025 campaign strategies. I bring extensive professional experience in digital as well as online nutritional fundraising, things that matter to our community. We have a great opportunity here. As someone who's been on this committee for 3 years, I have seen us give money to our battleground candidates, and I look forward to being able to do that and more, hopefully. Thank you so much. And I hope I hear your vote tonight.
All right, I'd like to welcome our next candidate, Jesse Ojeda.
Good evening, everyone. For those who haven't met me yet, my name is Jessie Ojeda. I'm really excited to be here tonight to speak with you all about why I'm running for the ACD. A little bit of background on myself. I moved to Arlington about 6 years ago to go to law school, originally from Michigan. And after surviving that, I decided I wanted to more involved with the local Democrats and found a very welcoming community here amongst you all. So for the last year, I've served as your parliamentarian. More recently, I have also been working as the recruitment director for the AYDs, planning some of our events, like our upcoming Women's Policy Forum, which I hope to see a lot of you at. That'll be on March 15th. I'm also this year serving as the Blue Victory Dinner Summit Auction Chair. You saw me at a wedding in the back earlier. Would love to talk to you all about ways you can donate to that or volunteer to support this event. So that's why I'm running for the ACD. I had a lot of really great conversations with the current committee members and learning more about the work that they do and ways that I can contribute my personal skills and experience. But as an overarching reason, I really think it's critical for more young voices like myself to be represented in the committee and to have a part in planning the future of our party. So if I were chosen to be on this committee, I would have 3 priorities after discussing these with committee members and figuring out the ways I can fill those gaps. So the first would be to improve communication on what the committee work is doing with all of you. I'm looking online, I noticed that social media hasn't been updated in a year, as cliche as it is. As a millennial, I do have a little bit of experience with social media. So I think that I can help get us posting there more regularly and letting you know about the great work we're doing and highlighting other events that you can participate in our community. The other thing that I would really like to see for the committee is to take a more active role in cross-district and cross-community engagement. I was talking with Kit Malnowski previously and had a really fantastic idea about using the committee to engage in more town halls. I think this is something that we all know there's a huge demand for, and we've had a really successful one recently. 2024 was the lowest year on record for town halls, and we know that Republicans across the country are avoiding them out of fear. And the committee can really expand to fill in that gap and be a facilitator of these events. And the last is I'd love to bring my event experience in planning the very important Kennedy King Dinner. I think some of the work I'm doing in the Blue Victory Dinner right now will be directly applicable. So thank you all so much for listening to me.
All right, it's a reminder that the winner of this gets to serve on the state central committee that includes casting ballot later this month in Richmond for our next party chair. We also get to plan the Kennedy King Dinner, participate in our monthly calls with our wonderful Congressman Don Beyer. The winner of this election will be determined by a simple majority, as we only have these 2 candidates in this race, and we are cutting off voting both online and in person just before the candidates speak. Okay, just before the candidates for thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. The candidates for delegate who are running for elected office, not these 2 candidates. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Paul Ruiz. All right, let's welcome up precinct top for your report.
Carol Lambert, big round of applause for Carol Lambert. Let's hear it.
I will take the next slide. Okay, we've already done this. We have a couple new precinct captains and a new precinct leader who've already been elected tonight. Thank you for your help with that. Can I just get a show of hands for everyone who's a precinct captain in the room? Oh my God, here's a round of applause. Precinct captains are the backbone of the party. They're working furiously year round to make sure that we elect Democrats up and down the ballot this fall. We won't have a problem doing that here in Arlington, but it is critical that we turn out every single last Democratic vote that we have in this county so that we can elect a Democratic governor, lieutenant governor, and most importantly, attorney general to defend our rights against. So with that, I can get the next slide. If you want to join us, you can come find me. I'm in this Protect Trans Kids sweater. I'm knitting it back. Yeah, so come find me. We specifically need precinct captains in these precincts that are up here. I will read them out. Arlington Precinct, Aurora Hills, Dawson Terrace, 4 Mile Run, Garfield Park, Dunston, Lyon Park, Lyon Village, Met Park, Oak Ridge, and Wakefield. But if you're not one of those precincts and you still want to get involved, or you don't know which precinct you're in, that's totally fine. You give me your asset, I could probably tell you off the top of my head. But we can figure that out. We can get you plugged in. So just come find Fran or me, and we will get you involved. Next. We have had a couple of really good precinct captain trainings already. One with our county board member Takis, who did a town hall with us, and one earlier about all things 2025 with the one and only Kip Malinowski. I think I'm like right in front of this camera. And then we have a couple coming up. So if you're a new precinct captain or you just want a refresher, we will be doing a mini retreat. It's going to be a few hours at headquarters later this month. So come on by if you wanted a refresher on that. And then we will be doing a volunteer list management training on Zoom in mid-April. You should have gotten emails about that if you're a precinct captain. Come on out. We'll also record the one on Zoom and share it around after if you can't make it live. Next slide. As Paul said, we're doing things to connect with the community, and one thing I love to do is read a good book. We had a great book club last night. We read All the Colors of the Dark, which I highly recommend if you haven't read it. Check it out. Our next book club will be on April Fool's Day, and we will be reading The Fraud by Zadie Smith. We'll have a lot of good snacks. Come on down. The sign up is on Zoom. We'd love to have you join. And if you go to the next slide, you can see we've chosen all of the books for the year already, the candidates. So if you want to put the library holds, on right now, go ahead and do that. I put some holds on with the library. The Fraud doesn't have any weight in the public library right now. So I suggest you get on that. And let's see if we have another slide.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Like I said, come by me if you want to get involved. We're going to be doing everything we can this year to make sure that we defend our neighbors' rights, the rights of our community, and elect Democrats up and down the ballot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. I saw some of our elected officials here tonight. I just want to recognize some of our elected. I saw Bethany Sutton, the school board. Bethany, she might be out in the hall. Let's see. I saw Maureen Coffey, county board with us. Maureen, I saw Matthew Franti. Now you here? Matt's here. Thank you so much. I saw our other new county board member, JD Spain, is with us tonight. I saw some of our constitutionals, Clarissa, Dagani, Taffy, our cotton attorney with us tonight. Commissioner of the Revenue, Kim Langler is with us tonight. Our sheriff, Elizabeth Heroes. Thank you, Jose.
And our delegates are gonna be speaking, so I'm gonna hold it for them, and but then I saw another school board member, our new school board member tonight. Soraya Tapia Hadley, she's out in the hallway. Welcome, Soraya. And then our agents are Karen Margot Warner's with me tonight. Who did I miss? All right, thank you guys for being here. I don't think we had a voter support. Mark, is that right? Are you gonna do voter support? Perfect.
Thanks to voter support for letting me talk about this initiative during your time. It's kind of a joint precinct operations voter support initiative. We are trying to have more voter registration events around Arlington. Right now, we're starting with all the different farmers markets. I bet you didn't know there's 10 different farmers markets in Arlington. Right now, there is a regular event that goes on year-round in courthouse, run by Colleen McCool and her team. They do a great job of registering voters, but we want to have some more registration events. So we're starting with the different farmers markets. Right now, thanks very much to the precinct captains near 5 of our farmers markets who have already stepped up, and they're going to be organizing events in April to register voters. There's 3 goals of voter registration events. First, of course, to register voters. Second, to kind of show the Dev's presence in Arlington all the time, all year round. And the third is to engage new volunteers. Voter registration is kind of a low stress activity to get involved in. So if you're a new volunteer and you'd like to work on one of these, please scan my barcode right there. We're hoping for more events throughout the year, not just at farmers markets, but other locations too. There's plenty of places to find voters and people who need to know that we've got an election this year. So anybody who has an idea, precinct captain, regular volunteer, new volunteer, please let me know. We're ready to support your event and help you organize it. Thanks, everyone.
Rachel Albert, thank you, Rachel.
Let's see, next up is outreach. Who we got, Zach? Zach Lang.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I don't have a whole lot. And by the way, it's great to see so many people. I don't know if I've seen this large a crowd. So wonderful to see you all. And I'm sorry it's under such crappy circumstances. Okay, next slide, please. Just a couple of brief announcements. March 6th, that is tomorrow. We got the Labor Caucus monthly virtual meeting. On the 10th, we have a salsa night, which was a big hit last year, I think, at the Renegade at 7 p.m. On the 15th, we got an AYD Women's Caucus, Black Caucus Women's Policy Forum. On the 23rd, we've got a Disabilities Caucus meeting with our County Board Chair, Dr. Karatonis. And on the April 5th, we've got the DPVA Women's Caucus Building Bridges event in Vienna. So for those who are interested, feel free to either take a photo, come see me, and I'll get you in contact with the right person. Other announcements, food donations in the back. Thank you in advance. And for those who are part of the Military and Veterans Families Caucus, we are trying to get them more embedded with precinct ops and beyond Arlington and Blue families to get out the word for Devs. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you to the team on our outreach committee that just do a great job each and every day. We have a couple other announcements that probably should have squeezed into the front of the meeting. Congressman Byer is having his federal worker resource event at Wakefield High School on Saturday at noon. You don't want to miss that. Also, I want to give a shout out to our senior lunch, which is 12 noon at Busboys and Poets next Tuesday. So if you're interested in that, I don't think they have a speaker yet. Also, I would be remiss if I did not point out that we have t-shirts in the back of the room. Please see Carol Burnett for t-shirts or yard signs. And let me welcome up Arlington Young Democrats, Brian Adkins. Austin Locke.
Hello, hello. Well, it is crunch time for the YEDs. We are preparing for our annual convention in Harrisonburg, Virginia this year at the end of the month. We'll be electing our state leadership for Virginia Young Dems. So we're excited to see the results of that come out and then gear up for the November election. But locally, let's go to the next slide. Our upcoming events, more coming to AYD Social Hour at Quinn's on the Corner, 7 p.m. on March 11th. We hope to see you there. And then next slide, is our elected, well, you can see it was a draft. With this policy forum, of course, it's going to be March 15th, 2 p.m. at Aurora Hills Library. And then we're trying something new this year. We're going to have an AYD hobby hour. So if you are, if you knit, crochet, or do any other type of craft, this will just be a space where, you know, we can enjoy each other's company. AYD will be providing some coloring books. If you would like to, if you don't have a craft but still like to come, we'll have something for you. And I think some of our members are bringing additional craft supplies as well. So that's going to be March 25th. Location is provided upon RSVP. And the time is still TBD, but we're hoping to get that out at the end of this week. And then I think I'll hand it over to you. Oh, one thing, we met our goal. Thank you to everyone who donated. AYD is going to be sending around 30 people to Harrisonburg. Marketing allocations in probably the last 5 years. So we are excited for everyone for donating to get everyone out to convention. It is not a cheap endeavor for us, so we greatly appreciate for you investing into the next generation of party leaders and elected officials. And we'll definitely have a report on what's convention is like. And then next slide. Going to hand it over to Austin.
Hey everyone, my name is Austin. I'm the Vice President of the Arlington Young Democrats. Question for everybody. Who here had something really important to do last night and could not watch the television? Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Well, the Diet Coke despots that go to disaster are currently destroying our country, and this isn't really a drill. It's a coordinated assault on our democracy, and I'm here to tell you something. Being mad isn't enough. Posting about it online isn't enough. Shaking your head and sighing isn't enough. If we don't fight back with everything we have in 2025, Trump and his little gaggle of dummies will win. Oh. However, AYD is not waiting. As Bryant told you, we've met our fundraising goal for convention, which means we're on to Empower Hour. We are raising funds to make sure that we can campaign statewide this year. This means we are building that Democratic firewall, mobilizing young voters, and training the next leaders for Virginia. I mean, look around this room. Look who's in office. Paul Ferguson, Maureen Coffey, Kim Winkler, Alfonso Lopez, Adele McClure. All of these folks came up through AYD. They relied on your generosity and the training they not only get at convention, but on the doors, on the phones, when they're writing postcards. So that's why we need your help. We're asking you to donate just 1 hour of your wage, 0.05% of your annual income. A small investment in us to make sure that we are ready to fight this November. So take your phones out right now. Take your phones out right now. Scan this QR code on screen and help contribute to make sure that AYD can fight. Because something as small as $25 is a pizza and a phone bag. $50 is a tank of gas to make sure we can campaign in any swing state throughout the entire state. And $150 is enough to make sure we not only canvass on Saturday, but we can stick around and canvass on Sunday. Because let me be absolutely clear. If we don't register young voters, we lose. If we don't train young leaders, we lose.
And if we don't show up, organize, and outwork these fascists, they will win.
Right.
And here's the thing. I'm not gonna forgive them, and I'm not gonna forget, and I sure as hell am not sitting on the sidelines while my country burns. We need to fight back, build up, and lean forward. It starts with 1 hour of your wage, one investment, one step towards the future. So donate now so we can get to work, because AYD has a country to save. Thank you so much, Austin. Yes, AYD is looking at, providing a, historic investment that we haven't provided in recent history. One of our goals is to run our own text speaking campaign here in Arlington, especially for our statewide races. Arlington is considered one of the tipping points, and we need to do everything we can to make sure we take back all branches of government this year here in Virginia. So thank you again. I think that's my last slide. It's been a week. It's been a month. Other than that, I'll pass it over to Steve.
Big round of applause for our young Democrats. Ah, well, I didn't. All right, and the microphone does work when you come up to speak. You have to kind of eat it a little bit, but it is working. Now I'm going to bring up Kip Malinowski from Young Arlington.
Good evening, Arlington Democrats. I'm Kip Malinowski. How's everyone doing tonight? All right, I love to see the energy. First of all, thank you to each and every one of you for being here tonight. I just want to give a few quick words about what we can do beyond Arlington. Now, I want to say Arlington is hugely important this year. For everything you do for beyond Arlington, do 3 things in Arlington, because we need turnout, we need margin, and we need to make sure we vote up and down the ballot for our governor, for our lieutenant governor, for our attorney general, for our delegates, for our county board, for our school board. We need to elect up and down the ballot this year. Precinct office is going to be a key part of that. So please talk with Sarah Lamford and Fran Jackson and the whole precinct office team on that. So 3 things about what we do. Right now, we are focused on calling into Wisconsin because that is the closest state Supreme Court race in the country. It will have a determination on how the maps look for the U.S. Congress. So that is absolutely crucial. We're going to have a few words tonight also about some other special elections that are ongoing or about to be ongoing. And then on April 3rd, we will have the filing deadline for the House of Delegates, and that's where we're really looking at and we'll be talking with some of our delegates right up front here, which House seats we're going to target, which ones we can partner with, so we can call and make sure that we win those seats while asking for a governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and Democratic member for the House of Delegates. So a word about Wisconsin. We lost Wisconsin by about 4 votes per precinct in 2024. We won Wisconsin in 2023 by about 3 votes per precinct. This is Susan Crawford. We need to make sure that she wins. She's defending voting rights, workers' rights, abortion rights. She believes in fair math. She believes in democracy. And Elon Musk believes he needs to spend $1.5 million to try and defeat her. So I don't have $1.5 million, but I can start to make some calls. And we're largely calling Democrats and just saying, do you have a plan to get out there and vote? And it's really, really critical that we do. And this is happening every day between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern time because we're calling in Wisconsin. We need to win that race. These are the special elections so far. The numbers are too small to see, but this is from a great group called Down Ballot. They show right now Democrats in all these special elections thus far in 2025 have been outperforming by about 9 points. And so that means we're well positioned to win in Virginia. We're well positioned to win in a lot of places. But this is where the road gets a little bit more difficult. As we look right now, there is a Congress member thinking of resigning in the state of New York. And we go to the next slide. So this is Elise Stefanik's seat. She has not resigned yet because Speaker Johnson still needs her vote, so she's sticking around in Congress. When she does leave, this district is going to be tough. Trump won it by 20 points, but we do have a candidate that meets that district, a dairy farmer named Blake Gendabine, who is right here on this next slide.
It includes Plattsburgh.
Yes, it does. It includes, thank you, Bob Blatt, it includes Plattsburgh. So, and they actually are doing the phone banks actually right now, they're calling into New York, so, we can make calls for Blake Genevieve. Now, we don't know when this election is gonna be yet. The governor hasn't called it because she can't call it because Elise Stefanik has not resigned yet. But this is probably our best chance of the 3 open congressional seats, actually now 4 in Texas, where the Democrat, recently passed away. But this is one where we got an opportunity to flip, although it's difficult. Next up, Florida. This is one that Trump won by 30 points. This is a very, very, very difficult district. But if you feel so moved to do something, this is a place where we could take action. We have a candidate, a teacher, and he is right here. His name is Josh Wheel. And they're doing phone banks every day, and this is for an April 1st special election. Now, if we win this election, it would move mountains. The only precedent for this, I think, is Kendra Horn in Oklahoma, who won a seat that Trump had won by about 35 points. And she did it by hosting town halls in all parts of the district where the Republican hosted no town halls because the Republican was afraid to defend Donald Trump's record on health care that many years ago. So I think to all of our elected officials in the room and everyone who knows an elected official, tell them if Republicans in an adjacent district want to host a town hall, let's get out there, let's do it, let's put them on the spot, and let's hear people's concerns. And then finally, you may remember a congressman named Matt Gaetz. He resigned, he's out of Congress, so that is good. However, Trump won that district by 37 points. This is not going to be easy, but part of the thing about being a Democrat is that we try and fight everywhere. We fight in the most Republican districts, we fight in the most Democratic districts, because we've got to get out there and do the work so people know these elections are coming. And we have an athletic trainer, Gabe Belmont, just doing phone banks every day, and fighting the good fight. So we've got, and yes, she loves puppies like Senator Warnock in Georgia. So she's a champion, but it's a very, very, very tough fight. So my key asks, call Wisconsin. Call Wisconsin if you have no favorites. If you have a favorite, call New York or Florida, but choose one of these, and all of these are at this next slide. I lied. We've got a fundraiser with the Rural Ground Game for helping Democrats run in rural districts. This with Lindley Thorne and the Alexandria Democrats are dosing it. So if you don't want to make calls, you can spend some money and probably get some drinks too at this fundraiser on March 22nd at 5 p.m. And you're not worried about writing any of this down because it's all on this next slide. I lied again. This is these are what our phone banks look like when we are calling all across the states or into different states. And we're not doing the next one until, well, tomorrow, when we're calling Wisconsin from Sarah Florence's in my home. And then we're doing it every Thursday through March. And finally, here is all the different ways that you can take action. So calls to Wisconsin, calls to defend North Carolina. The Republicans are trying to steal a seat there on the state Supreme Court. So we've got follow-up calls there. Calls to New York, calls to Florida, calls to Florida, postcards to Wisconsin. And then come April 2nd, after when we're back here in April, it's all about Virginia, because Virginia is going to be the most critical state in the nation. That's where the rest of our work is. So, and then continue with what Austin said. You take out your phone, scan this QR code. It's also right here, and sign up to make calls, to make calls, to knock, or to spend some money. Thank you all for being here, and you all have a great night.
Malinowski, thank you, yeah. Arlington Democrats was knocking doors and making phone calls for Connor Lamb back in 2018. Rose Fabia was there. That was a 20-point Trump district, so hope springs eternal, folks. Definitely sign up for these events and yeah, thanks so much, Bob. If you haven't voted yet for 8th district, go drop your ballot. We'll give them a minute. Anybody, if you haven't dropped your ballot, meet Bob out in the hallway. He's getting ready to crack it open and start counting. And Samantha's saying, I guess, close the online ballot again. All right, we are to candidate announcements. We're going to start off with our House of Delegate candidates. And I think we're going just in numerical order. So I'm going to welcome up Patrick Hope, Delegate Patrick Hope.
Good evening, Arlington Democrats. It's so wonderful to see such a diverse audience here tonight. Thank you for the energy. I'm Patrick Hope, and I'm honored to announce that I'm running for re-election to my 9th term as your delegate. I remember like it was yesterday, coming here 16 years ago. It was a 5-way primary. Some of you around remember that, asking for your vote. I told you then that I wanted to bring Arlington values to Richmond and to the rest of the Commonwealth. People were very surprised that that thought was uttered from my mouth, but just look at the progress that we've made together over the years. We've expanded Medicaid, giving hundreds of thousands of Virginians access to health care. We passed common sense gun violence prevention like universal background checks and red. We've enacted criminal justice reform, becoming the first state in the South to repeal the death penalty. Passed policies to protect our environment, we've raised the minimum wage, and we're putting more funding into affordable housing. But let me tell you something, we can only do this because we were in the majority. And let me tell you something, in Virginia, we're just getting started. When I chaired the House Public Safety Committee, I shepherded through the General Assembly more than a dozen gun violence prevention bills directly to the governor's desk for signature. We went from one of the worst states in Virginia to the top 10 state in gun violence prevention. And now, as your chair of the House Court of Justice Committee, we all know in Virginia, it's our constitutional responsibility to elect judges. And we're electing more progressive judges into into highest courts in Virginia. And we're enacting meaningful criminal justice reform to level the playing field. You know, it's not lost on me on the seriousness and the weight of this job, passing laws, electing a judiciary that can have a profound effect on all Virginians and people's lives. Over the years, I've passed more legislation than just about any other House Democrat. In fact, in the last 2 sessions, I sent 42 bills to the governor for signature. And I continue to thank you. And I continuously rank to be among the most progressive members of the General Assembly. We have 2 coming up here that are also very good progressive Democrats. I've delivered for Arlington, and I know how to get things done. Now, right now, I know things look bleak for us at the federal level, but here in Virginia, we are leading by example. We passed 3 constitutional amendments to protect the right to an abortion, to restore voting rights to incarcerated Virginians that are serving their time, and to equality to no matter who you love. Ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow Democrats, if there has ever been a time in our nation's history to stand up and fight for these rights, it is now. I run in bluish districts in one of the bluest counties in a blue state. I'll be damned if I'm going to bend the knee to President Elon Musk or his co-president Trump. Democrats, let's take our country back. In 2025 in Virginia, let's send a loud message to the world that America is not for sale to the billionaires. And we stand with our federal employees, and we stand by their service to this nation. By the way, the Gulf of Mexico, it always ruled the Gulf of Mexico. I love Arlington. I love this community. I love our schools, our parks, and all the things that we value and cherish. My family and I have lived in the Buckingham community since 2000. All 3 of my kids have attended Arlington Public Schools, from Barrett Elementary across the street to Swanson and Kenmore, and now at W&L. I'm so grateful for the community support I've received from you over the years. It's the honor of my life to serve as your delegate, your voice in Richmond. I humbly ask for your vote in June and then again in November. To join our campaign, to join our movement, please visit my website at hopeforvirginia.org. Fellow Democrats, I'm running for re-election because the stakes are just too high to sit on the sidelines. We can't bury our heads in the sand and pray that things will get better. We can make things better starting here in Virginia. We have to keep fighting for our fellow workers. We have to keep fighting for our local Virginians, all of our Virginians. We have to fight for our teachers in our schools. We have to keep fighting for a brighter future for our children.
That's why we're Democrats. We don't run away from a fight. Let's go win this thing. Let's keep fighting Virginia. And I think Mike worked pretty good. Do you want to do a PSA on how you find?
Hello, I'm not running for another. Quick PSA on this microphone, the reason this is going out is because the battery bank is bent, and so if you squeeze it here, so hold it gently up at the top, pinkies out, be problem. And here, one.
And please stand up. And I want to welcome, County Board Member Susan Cunningham, I think, joining us. She's over there. Thanks for being here, Susan. Now let's bring up my delegate, Adele McClure.
I want to thank every single member of the Arlington Democrats here tonight. I want to thank you for always showing up every single year, every single election to make sure that we are electing Democrats up and down the ballot. So please give yourselves a hand. I'd also like to recognize my fellow House colleagues here tonight. These last 2 years, I have been in the trenches with them. With a very, very slim Democratic majority. We are 51, so we cannot afford to miss a day. We have been fighting for you in Richmond and fighting back against those extremist policies. I'm very proud of my colleagues and have been proud to be fighting with them. I'm Delegate Adele McClure. I'm completing my first term, and I'm proud that I'm running for re-election for the House of Delegates for the second term. But I remember standing in front of you all 2 years ago announcing my candidacy for House of Delegates and sharing my vision for the district, for Arlington and Virginia. I talked about my background, my experience, and my priorities. I shared my commitment to safe and affordable housing, education, affordable childcare, accessible transportation, protecting workers, and more. And thanks to your support, in 2023, we made history right here in Arlington when I became the first Black person since Reconstruction and the first Asian person to be elected to the General Assembly to represent. Able to fundraise for the House Democratic Caucus that same year. And with your help, I was able to raise and donate over $100,000 to support battleground candidates across Virginia. That is the most that any incoming freshman has ever donated to the caucus to help the House of Delegates to Democratic control. Now, 2 years later, after the General Assembly just adjourned, I'm back with my hometown Democrats and proud to report that I've put action behind those priorities. This past session, I introduced, fought for, and passed 13 bills, a number that places me among the top legislators with the highest passage rate in the Virginia House of Delegates. Announced that I secured $25 million in our budget for childcare. But most importantly, every single piece of legislation is a direct response, not only to what I value, but to what the individuals and the families across Arlington value. And from what I've heard from directly knocking on the doors, knocking on every single door in the, so not every single door, but as many doors as I possibly could in the second district, and everything that I heard, that was reflected in my legislative agenda. And with that support, I passed legislation focused on housing access, tenants' rights, child affordability, gun violence prevention, workers' rights, consumer protections, reproductive health care, and more. And I did it, I'm proud to say, as a brand new mom. Double duty as a nursing parent to a newborn baby girl and a freshman legislator. As much as I've been able to accomplish with your support and alongside my colleagues, just as you heard, there is still so much work to do, especially now. So if we hope to establish a more just, more equitable Commonwealth, our fight must continue. There is too much at stake, and every person in this room knows exactly what we're up against. We see nothing but chaos cascading down from Washington and into our communities. And it is critical that our elected officials stand up and have your back. And that means supporting and defending federal workers and contractors, committed public servants who have been unjustly and inhumanely fired. That means working on ways to insulate Virginia from the worst of the administration. And it means ensuring our Commonwealth remains a beacon of progress and hope in the South. And that we can meet this moment. I vow to always be by your side in the ongoing struggle for justice, for equity, for access and opportunity. And I just humbly stand before you to ask for your support in my re-election campaign. And together, we can protect the hard-won progress that while we are making strides on behalf of all Virginians, because especially those who feel like their voices have been ignored and that they have been on the sidelines and silence for far too long. Together, we will increase our Democratic majorities in the House and the Senate, elect a Democrat as governor, and send a message to Arlingtonians and Virginians that we can come together and there is not anything that we cannot accomplish when we come together. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Now McClure, everybody, thank you, Cal. Now Alfonso Lopez.
My name's Alfonso Lopez, and I'm running for re-election to the 3rd District of the House of Delegates. We're proud to serve as the chair of what we call the Environment Committee, chair of the Labor and Workforce Committee, senior member of Commerce, senior member of Public Safety, the founder of the Latino Caucus and the Renewable Energy and Environment Caucus. Over the years, I've been the patron, co-patron, or chief co-patron of over 155 bills that have been signed into law, addressing everything from environmental protection to small business, worker safeguards, predatory towing, and immigration. More importantly, as your delegate, I've been a champion for our values in Richmond, fighting to create a Virginia where we lift everyone up and leave no one behind. Going forward, I'm going to keep focusing on jobs and the economy, education, and the needs of working families. I pledge to continue fighting for better schools, transportation solutions, environmental safeguards, economic developments, and our values of embracing diversity, tolerance, and compassion. There's nothing more important than lifting up those who are poor and sick and oppressed and afraid. And there's nothing in the world more rewarding than helping people. Meeting a dreamer who can now afford to go to college because of my legislation. Meeting a family that has a roof over their head because of my Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Meeting a young mom winning the battle against cancer who has health insurance because we were able to expand Medicaid. Going forward, we need to create more prosperity and do it in a way where everybody wins. We need to invest in our infrastructure, in our workforce, and most of all, in our children. In this room, we all understand that politics is about getting stuff done and improving people's lives. Because we know in this room that the world is too big for anything but compassion and caring and looking out for the other guy. I will continue to be a champion for our values and our priorities, and I will continue to fight unthinking MAGA policies that will roll back the progress we've made from Governor Youngkin and that bully across the Potomac. Trump has made it very clear who he speaks for. Oligarchs, billionaires, the ultra wealthy scam artists, shadow President Musk and Vladimir Putin. And it's incredibly clear that he couldn't care less about working families. His agenda is threatening to tank the economy and skyrocket inflation. His dangerous funding freezes and mass firings of federal employees have put seniors, kids, and families at risk. I stand with our federal public servants. I will keep fighting against the chaos that's being created because it's harming our neighbors, our community, and my family. My wife has worked for 15 years at the Department of Education. I have over a dozen relatives who are on the verge of being deported. 3 who lived in my house for a year because of TPS policies that are being proposed from this administration. I've got relatives who supported Trump, who are confused why their veterans benefits and Medicare benefits may be slashed. and why the steel plants didn't come back online on day one. We always talk about this being the most important election. Well, folks, this is it. The nation and the world are watching the one battleground in the US, Virginia. Our community, our family of Democrats has got to send a message that this chaos, this cruelty, these lies, this rejection of our values as Americans is not okay. We've done it before. We'll do it again and again. Let's elect Democrats up and down the ballot this November. And let's send a message to the world about what we think of Donald Trump and about who we are as Virginians, who we are as Americans. My name's Alfonso Lopez. I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates to help build a better future for my kids, my family, and for you and your families. I ask your support and vote on election day. And together, let's continue building a Virginia that lifts everyone up and leaves no one behind. Thank you very much.
Alfonso Lopez. Thank you to all of our delegates. We're really fortunate tonight that we have 3 statewide candidates with us who are going to announce 3 candidates for lieutenant governor, and we're going to start off with Alex Bastani. Come on up, Alex.
My name is Alex Bastani. I'm a 30-year member of the Virginia State Bar. I went to George Mason University. I will not call it that other name. I'm also a 30-year union man. I was the president of my local for 11 years. Way back in the turn of the century, I was the Yorktown freshman high school rowing coach back in 1989. Yes, they had water back then. I'm running for lieutenant governor on a platform of universal health care. A $20 minimum wage. Student debt relief. And my favorite of all, get rid of that so-called right to work law forever and a day. Now, I'm simply not running for that platform because I think it's the right thing to do, which I do think it is, but it's the winning way. If you check the returns back in November, in deep red states like Missouri and Alaska, overtime bills and bills on sick leave passed overwhelmingly. In fact, they beat our candidates by 10 to 15 points. So America believes in our agenda if we push it. My grandfather was one of those brave men who liberated Europe from tyranny. 5 or 10 years later, when he came home, he had a good union job. But every single nation he fought for had universal health care, including the nations he defeated. Yet 80 years later, once a month, his grandson, yours truly, sends a $310 check to United Healthcare to take care of his daughter. Now, I was fortunate, I'm an attorney, I can take care of her. But that's not the case for most, not Patrick Cover. That's not the case for everyone. Universal health care is a right. It's not a privilege. Things like water or food or shelter. No one should have to declare bankruptcy because of medical bills. No one should have to stay at a job that's unsafe, low pay, or they may be facing harassment because they have to hold on to the health care. And no one should have to take a baby to term because they can't afford the procedure. Now, I want to say something a little bit that's pushing the line a little bit. I don't know how you can talk about women's reproductive rights if you're not talking about universal health care. 2/3 of Americans cannot afford a $500 emergency. Women's reproductive rights isn't simply limited to abortion. It's screening, testing, prenatal care. Those things cost money. That's why we need universal health care. Now, I know you're all dying for me to do a 45-minute lecture on universal health care. But I do want to hit one more point that people may not think about when we talk about universal health care. About 60% of the gun-related deaths in this country are related to suicide. Not even talking about mass shootings. Mental health care has a stigma in our nation. I've represented people in labor issues who've had mental health issues. Particularly as men, we have a hard time seeking out assistance. It is my belief if we have universal health care, it will be more acceptable for men and they'll feel less pressure to seek mental health treatment. So I'm asking for your vote on June 17th. I thank you for your time and God bless you.
Thank you, Alex. Now we're going to welcome up Senator Aaron Rouse.
Good evening, everyone. Now, first I want to thank my House colleagues for all the work we did this year. I am chairman of Privileges and Elections Committee. So those 3 constitutional amendments that we passed came to our committee and made sure we got it done. So I want to thank you all for the work you've done. I'm Senator Aaron Rouse, representing District 22, that is the city of Virginia Beach, and I'm running for a lieutenant governor to move Virginia forward in a new way, not the old way, but a new way in Virginia. It's about stepping up. My entire life, I have been stepping up. Now, my mother raised 4 of us by herself. My father's been incarcerated. My grandmother cleaned houses in the city of Virginia Beach. And it was my grandmother who really helped us out when things got tough. But unfortunately, my grandmother died from breast cancer at a young age of 49. And that's when my grandfather, who was an Army veteran, came to me and said, "You're the man of the house." And before he put me to work, he gave me 3 important values. He said, keep God first, work for everything that you want, and your word is your bond. And so then I went to work washing school buses. I worked on the concrete line. I worked at Food Line. I worked at Farm Fresh. I worked at Target to make ends meet. I worked paycheck to paycheck to make sure my mother didn't have this cost of living. The burden was solely on her. I earned my way to college, earned a full scholarship to Virginia Tech, becoming the first person in my family to go Hokies. We clap for Hokies. Becoming the first person in my family to graduate from college, all while I was a full-time student. I was a dad taking care of my son, also was a full-time athlete, but also taking care of my younger brother who was 2 years younger than I was, but I refused to lose him to the streets. And after that, I was drafted to the NFL. I got a chance to be drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Okay, back go. I know we ain't in this country, right? But I played for the New York Giants and Arizona Cardinals before coming home, starting a nonprofit that focused on education and skills. Because I want our kids to understand it's not wasn't football, it wasn't rapping, it was an education and a skill that allowed me to be successful. Then on, I was elected to Virginia Beach City Council. I was elected, garnering the most votes ever, over 460,000 people in the city of Virginia Beach. I garnered the most votes ever in that election and was able to do some great things. We passed an historic bond referendum to help build our infrastructure up to mitigate flooding. We protected voting rights. We sat there and we made sure that a park and playground that was in my community that was torn out, we rebuilt that park and playground, and that may be a small thing, but it's a huge thing to a community that's been underserved, overlooked, and undervalued. All right. I would tell you to believe that no person can left behind. And when Roe v. Wade was overturned, and Glenn Youngkin and two other former governors came down with Lieutenant Governor Winston Sears came down campaigning with their handpicked candidate in SB 7, a district that Youngkin won by 5 points. I stepped up again and I said, we will not allow women's rights to be overturned here in our Commonwealth. We will protect women's rights. We can wind that. We look at this from red to blue. Becoming the first Democrat to hold that position in 25 years. The first African American to be elected from the city of Virginia Beach to our Virginia Senate ever. We have work to do. And at the same time, my wife was not here, who's a professor at the Tidewater Community College. She stepped up. She said, I'm going to run for city council in the city of Virginia Beach because I don't want the progress that we've made to go back. So my wife is on Virginia Beach City Council. In your state, and as chairman of privilege election, I have protected voting rights. I have made sure we build our infrastructure. I have protected our seniors and our small businesses. And as your next lieutenant governor, I want to make sure we have a team to step up and make sure we protect our Commonwealth. We have to be a shield for Virginians throughout our Commonwealth. But most important, we have to be leaders for our nation. We got to make sure protecting our democracy starts right here with us. This will be a national election. Understand that. That's why leaders around the Commonwealth are here behind me. I'm so proud to have the support of County Board Member Spain. I'm so proud to have the support of Chairman Takis Karatonis and Sheriff Jose. I'm so proud to have your support and endorsement. We have more work to do in our Commonwealth. We have to step up. It's this year. There is no next year. We can do this together because we are Democrats. We have values. We are morally principled, and we can do this together. So I need your support. So go to RalphVirginia.com, sign up, and let's get this together. Let's do this together. Thank you.
And I see we are joined County Board Chair Karatonis. Now I want to welcome the Mayor LeVar Stoney.
Well, before I begin, give a big round of applause to your chair, Steve Baker, one time for me. Steve, there's a special place in heaven for you to be chair of a local committee. Folks, it's been 44 days. That's all it's been, 44 days. 44 days since Donald Trump, Elon Musk started dismantling the federal government we've been investing in most of our lives. And more than just dismantling, we have seen our friends and our families lose their hard-earned jobs, folks who stuck it out in the low times and the high times, and they're losing their jobs right for a devastating families. See, the one thing I always knew about Donald Trump was this. He was always going to fight for those who had the most or those who were born with the most. And right now, more than ever, we need someone who's willing to fight for those who have the least or those who were born with the least. And I know a little bit about that. See, some 44 years ago, I was born to two unwed teenagers. Black unwed teenagers. You know, when you were born to a couple unwed teenagers, your outcomes are negative and your expectations are low. But with the grace of God, I was blessed with a grandmother and a father who stuck it out, who poured a lot of inspiration and did a lot and sacrificed a lot to allow me to become the first in my family to graduate from high school, the first in my family to go to college, and the first in my family to graduate from college. And when I graduated from James Madison University, no Dukes. Dukes in the house. I know Little Virginia. Come on now. When I graduated from JMU, I set out to always go out there and fight for fairness, to fight for the underdog, and fight for the least and left out. And I started working for the Democratic Party right here in Virginia. I worked from an organizer all the way up. People like Kit Malinowski, people like Charlie Conrad. I was an organizer. I worked on local races. I worked on state races. I advised candidates for statewide office. And at 26 years old, I ran the Democratic Party of Virginia when we won for the first time for Barack Obama in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And after 10 years in campaign politics, I got the opportunity to serve our public for the last decade. First, I served as Secretary of the Commonwealth. At age 32, the youngest member of Governor McCullough's campaign, youngest member of Governor McCullough's cabinet. And I was the first Black Secretary of the Commonwealth in the Commonwealth of Virginia. There, I had the opportunity to lead the governor's effort to restore rights to former offenders, those who had served their time and deserved restoration of their civil and voting rights. There we restored the rights of nearly 200,000 former offenders under the governor's watch. And then at age 35, I jumped in the arena and ran for the mayor of our capital city, the city of Richmond, and won that race as well. And over the course of the last 8 years, I did 3 things to fight for a fair shot for Richmonders. Number one, we reduced poverty by 33% under my watch. And how do we do that? We mixed economic growth with economic opportunity. We pioneered programs like guaranteed income, offering $500 to those who are going to fall off the fiscal cliff. The first locality in the Commonwealth of Virginia to do that. We brought in 6,500 really good paying jobs for the city of Richmond and attained a AAA credit rating in the form of the capital of the former capital of the Confederacy. We also were able to invest in our schools, increasing funding for Richmond Public Schools by nearly 60%, increasing the salaries of our teachers from $52,000 a year to $73,000 a year by the time I left. And what we did, we committed to offering a pathway to community college for any graduate, no matter your GPA, no matter how much of your money your family has. And now we're the only locality that offers a scholarship for free community college in the Commonwealth of Virginia. What I will be known for is I'm the guy in the summer of 2020 that called for the removal of every Confederate monument in the former capital of the Confederacy. And I'm running for lieutenant governor because I believe every Virginian deserves a fair shot, no matter the color of your skin, who you pray to, who you love, where you live, or what party you vote for. And here's the thing, we need to fight like hell. Fight like hell for every Virginian who's born to a situation like mine, who just deserves a fair shot. So I'm asking you tonight, will you fight for every child in the Commonwealth of Virginia, no matter where they live? Will you fight against Elon Musk and Donald Trump? Will you fight for the lifestyle and the moral life? Round of applause for all of our candidates. I will announce the results of our 8th district recommendation vote. All right, let's kind of ask a show of hands. How many of you are new tonight? New faces, new folks. Round of applause for these people. Welcome, Arlington. Probably thinking, wow, man, these people. There's a lot going on. If you need orientation, we have a new volunteer coordinator. Her name is Menoir Khalil. Menoir, where are you? Menoir, get in touch with Menoir on your way out. She'll be happy to talk about some of the wonderful opportunities, and please connect with some of the folks that you saw tonight. I am extremely excited to announce our next member of the 8th Congressional District Democratic Committee, Jesse Ojeda. Thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank all of our candidates for running. And thank you everybody for being here tonight. We've got a lot of things going on in the back of the room. Don't leave too quickly. We've got another 15 minutes at least before they start rolling up the sidewalks. I think they want you out of the garage by 8:45, but please
visit the tables in the back, meet with each other. You got some statewide candidates here. Thanks again for being here. And we will be talking to you.
Yeah.